Welcome back to the Forcecast. You're here with your anchors, Morgan
and Austin.
Good to be back. So here we are on Tuesday the 29th. Let's get things rolling with our On This Day segment. Austin, you've got some stuff you're excited to mention for Star Wars?
I should bring it up last because of how amazing and how monumental it is.
Oh,
you
well
go first.
Well,
you'll know what I mean in a minute.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you're not going to get much out of me because today the Fellowship is still resting in Lothlorien.
Get off your lazy butts and get quested.
Yep.
Grief.
Yeah, no, they actually, they actually stay in Lothlorien for a long time.
Maybe we should
actually.
just hold off. Maybe we should just hold off on this day thing until they leave Lothlorien.
Yeah, I was gonna say they stay in Lothlorien up until holy crap, February 15th. You may not hear from me for the Lord of the Rings spiel for a while. I will have something probably on Thursday. However, there's one extra thing. Actually, no, two extra things. But yeah, the Fellowship is still in Lorien and will be there for a long time. That's all I've got.
Yes.
All right, Austin, hit it.
All right, best part is this is an on this actual day thing. As we all know, Star Wars is big into marketing, especially in toys. I've had a Star Wars toy, at least one, not true, at least 5 since I was born. Like, Star Wars is big on toys, right? And sometimes toys, in preparation for things that are coming out, can sometimes be a little spoilery. So, on this day, in 2008, in preparation for upcoming toy shows and things like that, they reveal the identity of a character so as not to surprise people, so they know who this character is. And this character is Ahsoka Tano.
Woo!
On this day, we learned who Ahsoka Tano was. I didn't learn who it was till later when I discovered the Clone Wars was a thing. But hey, this was the day, people. This is groundbreaking. Okay, Ahsoka is one of the greatest, and I know I say that all the time, but one of the greatest Star Wars characters. Like,
oh, honestly, I completely agree.
Honestly, Ahsoka is the greatest. I want to know where the heck she was in between Rebels and the end of Rebels. Ahsoka the White and all that. Like, I'm convinced she was fighting a Balrog for 6 years. I just want to know. I want to know. And the fans, you know, we did not like Ahsoka at first, but everyone now loves Ahsoka. And maybe not everyone, but pretty much a majority of the fandom loves Ahsoka Tano for what she became, and especially for what she did in Rebels. The fight with Vader, we all knew was coming. It was the very reason she was in the show.
She was fantastic.
Ahsoka's great. Ashley Eckstein did an amazing job. And I'm gonna say this. I've said this before. Of all the voice actors, the female voice actors of Star Wars are among the best. Ashley Eckstein, and the others. I can't remember their names right now. But Sabine Wren, Hera, Syndulla. Like, I enjoy their performances so much. I think they give so much to their characters. And Ashley is part of what made Ahsoka amazing.
Yay for Ahsoka Tano!
Ahsoka Tano. And I have another thing on Thursday. Like, this is a great week for Star Wars.
So tune in for that on our Thursday episode, or Thursday/Friday. Which, should we make the announcement? Or
yes, we should.
Okay. So we do have one announcement. Due to some things with Austin's schooling and just basically needing more time for that, we are actually changing our schedule for the podcast to actually 1 day a week instead of twice a week. And it'll be, we'll record Thursdays and then the episodes will be on Fridays. This week, however, we are still doing 2, but starting next week is when we will be only doing once a week, which does make us a little sad, but at the same time, it is necessary so Austin doesn't have to keep taking too much time out of his day to do this when he could be using it to do stuff for school and whatnot. So hopefully you guys will understand. Like I said, we're a little sad, but hey, at least we're still going to be still doing this. You know, once a week will still be fun. Plus, that'll help us be able to basically flesh out all of our topics for a little bit longer instead of using up a little bit each week. So
yeah,
that'll help us be able to
Sorry,
elongate
my
them.
fault.
Nah, it's all good. Schooling is important as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we will be only doing this once a week from now on, but hey, at least we're still going.
Yeah, for this week there will be 2 episodes. today and Thursday's episode. So there will be that, but from now on we'll be recording Thursday nights.
Yep. So let's get on to tonight's topic. We are talking about soundtracks.
Movie, video game, television soundtracks. We are big music people in this family.
Yes.
Quality music people. We grew up listening to Styx and Journey and REO Speedwagon and other
80s music for the win.
Other assorted 80s, 70s, 90s artists, because our parents believe in raising their children right.
Shout out to Mom and Dad. You're the best.
Love you. But yeah, big fans of that. And big fans of movies. Movies has been our family's thing. We've been a movie family literally as long as I can remember.
Pretty much every night after dinner was either watching a TV show, maybe an episode or two a night.
That was more later in life, but yeah.
Yeah, like that was as we got older, but we pretty much watched movies like all the time.
We like PG-13, at least for Lord of the Rings, meant nothing to us as we were very young. When we first
6
saw
and
Lord of the
3
Rings.
started watching Lord of the Rings.
That didn't pertain to all other PG-13 movies, but for Lord of the Rings,
not.
It pertained to Lord of the Rings mostly because they don't really swear in it. And it's like,
they don't swear. We
swear,
proved we can handle the action and some of the scary things.
We loved it. I mean, we've loved it. Movies and music, they're a big thing. And so eventually, we just fell in love with movie soundtracks, And it's just like, I'm probably going to be the most of the talking. Well, I guess I usually do. But,
that's okay.
As a prospective filmmaker, as a player of the violin, and as a fan of movies, musical themes can draw out emotional responses. Like, let's dip into this already. In the third Hobbit movie, when Thranduil and Legolas are talking, Legolas is like, I'm going to leave. And Thranduil, being as cryptic as all heck, and also grammatically making a mistake, tells him to go looking for who essentially is Aragorn. He doesn't tell him the name.
Essentially is?
He's telling him to look for Aragorn. But as he says so, when he finishes, his little speech of his name in the wild is Strider, we hear in the background the very subtle, but obviously well-known theme of the Fellowship of the Ring, which drew an emotional response from me the first time I saw the movie.
Yeah, fun fact, when we first went and saw the Battle of the Five Armies...
I thought we said this already.
I don't remember. I'll make it quick in case we did. When we first went and saw the Battle of the Five Armies, there were a couple of things that we kind of hoped would happen in the movie. Didn't get our hopes up just because a lot of times you wish for something that doesn't happen. And I guess his one thing was
one thing was to hear the Fellowship thing.
And then, of course, like he said, that played kind of subtly in the background, and...
I heard it. I did not.
He started crying.
I started crying. Because I love that music. Like, I mean, I grew up on Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter for a time. Like, those are musically themed based movies.
Like, you hear the music and you immediately go, oh, that's Star Wars.
Like,
that's Harry Potter. That's Lord of the Rings.
You hear bands play it at, like, football games,
Oh, yeah.
You hear them play the Darth Vader theme. Like, you can hear the
Imperial March.
People who aren't even fans of Star Wars hear the Darth Vader theme and they know what it is. They know where it's from, and they know when you hear it, it means bad news.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless you hear the parade version, which they aired in Star Wars Rebels, which is my favorite version of the song. Because it is literally an in-universe, like, it's canon that they have an actual Imperial March parade music. They have an episode where there's an Imperial parade, and they play the music, and it is so upbeat and, like, kind of cheery, and I love it. Love it.
Well, and there's a video that a friend of mine showed to me, talking about why Howard Shore, the one who made the music for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, is a musical genius.
He is a musical genius, he really is.
Oh, yeah. And it was, I think it only dealt with one theme in particular, but it was saying, okay, this is the main thing, it plays like this because of this moment in the movie, then it plays in this way, which matches the tone of this scene.
Well, I will
say...
And
it transitions so
differently. I will say
differently.
in defense of plenty of other themes do that.
I know.
Like, even Darth Vader's death, they play the Imperial March on a harp, and it sounds sad. Like, it's all about...
They do?
Yeah. When Darth Vader dies, they play the Imperial March in the background on a harp, and it sounds sad.
I never
Like,
knew
I
that.
will say, I think Howard Shore does it better than most others.
Yeah.
Because, like, even in, like, let's look at The Hobbit, like, the Misty Mountains theme, which, was gone too soon, Only the good die young
I wish they
type
would
thing.
have...
But, of course, it made sense, because they got over the Misty Mountains cold, so...
Yeah.
But it's like, that theme, in the first time we hear it, it's very somber, when they sing it. It's very somber. I don't think Howard Shore wrote it, though, technically. But he did...
The words, no.
Well, of course not, but I'm talking about the music.
Oh.
Maybe he did, I don't know.
That part I don't really know.
Because I heard that's actually kind of why they couldn't use it for the other movies, because of copyright disputes with the people who sang it, but I don't know if that's true or not.
I really have no idea.
To me, it just made sense because they were over the Misty Mountains. But anyway, when they first sing it, it's all somber and, it's quiet and it's like, reflective. But then later in the movie, when we hear it again, it's this big, fellowship crossing the Misty Mountains heroic theme where it's like, wow, this is big and it's beautiful and it's great scene. It's them walking over mountains, but the music pulls you into it.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Jackson knows how to film mountains. You just have really good music with it. People will keep watching.
Well, like the lighting of the beacons. All it is a mountain, endless mountain sequence.
fires on mountains.
But you put amazing music to it, and you just have an amazing scene.
I know, literally, like, the shots of the Fellowship and the company of Thorin Oakenshield crossing the Misty Mountains could be the most boring things in the movie. But it's the moment everyone waits for, because that's when you hear the theme at its fullest. Exactly, like, the first time you really get the full Fellowship theme is in Rivendell, when you shall be the Fellowship of the Ring. You get that. But then the best moment, well, not the best moment, but one of the greatest moments of that theme is when they're crossing the Misty Mountains. Or going to the Misty Mountains, anyway. Holding this course west of the Misty Mountains. And then in The Hobbit, when they're crossing from Rivendell over the Misty Mountains, it's like this amazing, huge theme. And then later in the movie, like...
Pretty much it is Middle-earth law that when you leave Rivendell,
you've got to have an awesome theme. Yeah, if you don't, you're screwed. Like, you're gonna die. But
really quick, I am going to try my best to include YouTube links to a lot of the themes and songs we mentioned.
Yeah, you can find the soundtracks on the internet.
Yeah, you can find the soundtracks on the internet. Heck, I may even find the link to an entire playlist.
Yeah. But also, there's, like, later in the movie, when Bilbo is giving his little spiel as to why he came back, you have the Hobbit theme that plays, which is one of my favorite themes of all time. Mm-hmm. And that plays. And then as there's this moment of silence, you hear a kind of somber, but not the same kind of somber version of the Misty Mountains theme play again, where I don't really know how to describe it. It's not sad, it's kind of reflective. It's kind of this nice little moment of pause. And then, of course, there's the 2 times it plays in the mountain chase. Of course, during our favorite version, the scene with the trolls, when they're fighting the trolls. Honestly, great version. Very battle-oriented. Roast Mutton.
Oh my gosh.
The soundtrack for Unexpected Journey, Roast Mutton. But this is just like an example, and I think Howard Shore does this best. He does it better than others, in my opinion. Because John Williams has done it. Like, you can hear it in some movies where it's like, it's the same theme, but it's all about key change. That's what I discovered when learning to play these on the piano. It's all about key change.
Oh, yeah.
You change the key to a certain way in the music. It's like, I can't describe it for those of you who don't know music, but it just changes the way it sounds.
Well, that's why I've seen things like, this song played in a minor key actually sounds scary. Like, usually it's a happy song. Oh, yeah. If you play it in minor key, it's like, ooh.
And that's just how music is.
Like, key is everything.
Key is key.
Key is key.
Literally, that's why it's called key.
Hashtag key is key.
Yeah, and so it's like one of those things that, if you wanted, you could make the Isengard theme sound heroic. You could make the Darth Vader Imperial March sound heroic. Or just badass, like in Rogue One. Like the moment in Rogue One, like, again, it's just, music has a way of eliciting emotional response from the audience. Again, in Rogue One, you never hear the Imperial March play except with Vader. Now, usually the Imperial March and the Empire, they're kind of synonymous. You kind of hear it with Vader, but also with the Empire in general. Not in Rogue One. In Rogue One, like, I expected, when you see the first shot of the Death Star, I was expecting the Imperial March. But I didn't get it. You got Krennic's theme, which is kind of actually based off of a piece of music that was played in A New Hope. Oh. And then that's a shot, in my opinion, for Rogue One, we don't need the shot of Vader in his goo tube, okay? When the guy, Director Krennic has arrived. We don't need that scene. We should cut it. You should go to Gareth Edwards, have him re-release the movie, and cut that bit out. Because honestly, all we need is Krennic showing up, standing in that room, and then the shot of the door opening. Because we already know who it is. Mm-hmm. And then, just this massive shadow of Vader, and the music is very slow.
See, that's one of the things I like about Vader is he has an iconic silhouette.
Oh yeah, you see.
He has a distinction. You can see the silhouette, know exactly.
Well, one of the greatest posters, like the greatest poster, Episode 1, young Anakin standing against a backdrop, and the shadow is Darth Vader. Literally, the best thing to ever come out of episode 1 is that poster.
Yeah, our uncle had that. On his
It's been hanging
door.
on the door for decades, and it's like, but it looks like it says so much. But we're not talking about posters; we're talking about music, and it's like, and so it, you know, and that's, and this is what I use to illustrate a point. I have only seen Justice League once. I will never see it again. I was not a fan of it.
Neither am I.
Very much a letdown.
I haven't even
Never
seen it.
But like, we compare it to the Avengers, and you could say that's unfair. But the thing is, with the Avengers, they have a theme, right?
Yep.
In my opinion, amazing theme.
Oh no, I agree.
If we're talking about a musical theme, we probably think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it just makes you feel great. But it's just Justice League. Because I pay attention for themes, like you can pick up on them, because especially people like John Williams, you pick up on them because like they play every 5 minutes. Literally in Empire Strikes Back, whenever Vader's on screen, pretty much, Imperial March plays. Like they didn't have it in A New Hope, so they tried to shoehorn it into Empire Strikes Back to make sure we heard it, and of course we heard it. We heard it a lot. And as far as I'm aware, Justice League there wasn't a theme. But the thing is, like with the musical theme, like in the Avengers, you hear it kind of throughout the movie. You don't really pick up on it. I mean, you pick it up at the beginning, and then they play it on the helicarrier halfway through the movie, and you kind of pick up on it. Mm-hmm. But then you really hear it at its peak when, you know, that's my secret captain, I'm always angry. And it's like symbolizes a moment where the
forming of the Avengers.
The assembling of the Avengers.
Yeah, that's better.
Where it comes together. And it's glorious. And when that freaking theme plays in Wakanda when Thor shows up,
best entrance ever.
Just gives you chills because one, it looks awesome, but the music, you know this music. You love this music. You know that means bad news for bad guys. When that music plays, bad guys better run.
The one thing I will say, I did find a video where they edited that part and instead it was, what is it called? The immigrant song
from Ragnarok. The Led Zeppelin.
Which I'm kind of like, you know, as much as I love the entrance with the Avengers theme, I would have loved that just as much.
It would have worked very well with the scene, according to this edit. However, in terms of the context of the scene, didn't work as well.
I don't care.
I think the Avengers theme works better in the context of the scene because, you know, it just works better in context, you know.
I'll see if I can find that video and include it in the description.
Plus, in Ragnarok, when they play it, Thor, you know, he's always coming out swinging and taking on several guys at the same time, like, really quickly, Whereas in Avengers, you know, there's this moment where he just stands there, you know, and it just looks awesome.
It's just great.
And of course, Cap's entrance is different. Like the beginning of the theme, it's not the full dun 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 dun, but you know, you hear that throughout Infinity War as well. Like some of my favorite ones. You know, get this man a shield. You hear it in the background. You're an Avenger now with Spider-Man. Sorry, just karate chop Morgan.
Just karate chop my shoulder.
And that's the thing, like, in Justice League, I did not pick up on a theme. And I think that definitely hurt the movie. Like, the movie was already hurt. But I think it hurt it more. Because if they had a theme, it would have made it feel more complete when they actually did their whole, we're the Justice League thing. I didn't pick up on a theme. And it's DC. DC original movies like Batman and Superman. Well, Batman, even in like Batman Begins, but like they have themes, like they're known for iconic themes, like Superman, John Williams, like is iconic.
Yeah, then that had nothing.
Like one of my orchestra teachers said the greatest teaser trailer he ever saw for a movie was for Superman Returns, which was not really a well-received movie. He said the teaser trailer for it was amazing because all it was a black screen, Superman logo appears, they play the John Williams music, and it fades to black. And that's it.
Better than the Man of Steel one.
And where they stole.
I'm still mad about that.
They stole music from Lord of the Rings, and we identified it instantly.
Oh, I did too. I heard the first note and went, what?
You and I, we.
But did we watch it together?
We were in the same movie theater.
Well, no. Oh.
I'm pretty sure
I thought I saw it on YouTube.
We might have seen it on YouTube together. But...
You know, they stole the music that plays after Gandalf falls at the Bridge of Khazad-dûm and the Fellowship's coming out of Moria. And I immediately was like, what the crap? What is Superman doing stealing Lord of the Rings music? I was pissed. I'm still pissed.
Even Mom recognized it and was confused. She's like, wait.
Is this a Lord of the Rings movie?
Like, that's a pickup truck. Like, I think The Hobbit was still coming out. So I was like, is this a Hobbit trailer? It was like a pickup truck. And she's like...
Wait, was that when The Hobbit came out?
I think it was around the similar time.
I thought it was before.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up because now I really want to know.
We don't follow DC very well, but...
No. Oh, no, you're right. That's 2013. The first movie came out in 2012.
Okay, so there's still... She thought it was maybe a Hobbit trailer, but then it was Superman, and it was so confused. She's like, what the heck?
I don't know what that was about, and I'm still mad at them for that.
And that's the thing, like, I feel like DC's movies, they don't have themes. Like, I haven't seen Aquaman yet. I don't know if he has a theme. Wonder Woman's theme
Yes.
is literally a guitar solo, and is awesome.
Which we've been saying for years, they need to start bringing guitar solos back.
Yes, but
that's part of what makes 80s music amazing.
That's mainstream music. I don't know if it fits. It fits for Wonder Woman, but I don't know if it fits for everybody else. Like,
hashtag bring back guitar solos.
Yes, and we're gonna talk about themes. Like mostly, we call it soundtracks, but we're really gonna talk about musical themes, especially because we could go on about Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and Star Wars musical themes all day long.
I do want to bring up a specific one from Lord of the Rings, only because it's my absolute favorite, and I had to listen to it yesterday because I had a very hard day at work. Had to.
Forced to. Against you.
No, I didn't say I was forced to. I said I had to. No, the one I want to talk about is concerning hobbits, which is essentially known as the Shire theme. I hear that, and basically to me, it just feels like home. You know,
it's a happy day.
It's a happy song. It's beautiful.
It's the music that plays. If you're unfamiliar with the soundtracks, we'll try to describe it. It's the music that plays when Bilbo in the extended edition is describing the Shire and the hobbits. It's very happy violin music that plays in the background.
Well, really, it's just associated with a lot of the hobbits in general throughout each of the movies. But and again, I'll include a link to it so you can hear it. But it is honestly one of the most beautiful themes in the entire trilogy. Actually, in all 6 movies, because they do play it with Bilbo a few times as well in The Hobbit. But it's so beautiful. It's so serene. It makes you just feel relaxed. It makes you just think of home, you know? And for me, honestly, it is a song where if I'm in a bad mood and I listen to it, I'm immediately in a much better mood. My husband has learned this.
I put it in your wedding video.
Well, I know. It was in our wedding video. Yeah, Austin made our wedding video, our slideshow, and he put that in there, which made me very happy. But no, like, I told him once, this song will literally just put me in a better mood no matter what. So if ever I'm sad or stressed or whatever, he'll play it for me, and I immediately just feel better. I had a very rough day at work yesterday, and so on my way home, I was like, I need to listen to this, and like I said, right off the bat, I just felt mostly better.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah, it wasn't until I got back home and had to tell my husband about my day that I'm like, okay, now I'm stressed again. But honestly, it's just so beautiful, and it's my favorite theme throughout all of the Middle-earth movies. It's just my favorite. There have been times, actually, he's played it in the morning to help wake me up.
I think that would do it.
Actually, both times he's done it, it's been on my birthday.
Oh, well,
I'll wake up to him playing it on the speakers. I'm just like, that's the perfect way to wake up. Sorry, I really love that theme.
It's
so
a
much.
very nice theme. I know how to play it on the violin. It's quite fun.
There was one you said you wanted to mention, the Rohan one,
of course,
or the charge of the Rohirrim.
Like, there are moments in the movies where the themes are at their peaks, right? Where it is like, this is the pivotal moment for this group of people or for this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, again, the Gondor theme, it's lighting some fires, but still, it's amazing. Like, it's so good. The Rohan charge, and the problem is some of these themes don't make it into the soundtracks, so we apologize. Like, when the charge of Rohirrim at Pelennor, it is not in the soundtrack, and that is the most disappointing thing of the Return of the King soundtrack. It's not in there. And it's this great moment, because it's the violin. It's actually technically not a violin. It's a Celtic instrument of some kind. Playing the solo, and then there's the freaking, I think, French horns in the background. It's the charge and the emotion, and the death, everything. Not the death, but like them chanting death. And Theoden's speech and everything about it, just like this build-up of emotion that just like releases itself in this moment. And you know this theme, because they played it a lot in the second one. And this is literally them charging to their death, because that's literally what they're chanting and screaming at the top of their lungs. They are going to die. And here they go anyway. And this is their moment of glory.
Oh, yeah.
And
the theme does it great justice.
And the freaking, like, I thought the pinnacle of the Fellowship theme was them crossing the Misty Mountains. That was apparently wrong. When they charge at the Black Gate. When Aragorn leads the charge, it plays, and there's freaking choir in the background singing in Elvish, and I explained this to you before, but they're singing "If by my life or death I can protect you, I will," in Elvish. I didn't even know that until like a few months ago, and it was amazing. It made the scene all the more beautiful. And oh, it's so also not in the soundtrack, and I hate that. I hate it. But it also is really great when Aragorn gives his speech too, because like,
a lot of your favorite bits seem to not make it in the soundtracks.
I know. Excuse me.
I know.
Sorry.
Night Manager fans, let us know.
Night Manager, you're probably not out there, but I know.
But I mean, you have the Charge of the Rohirrim. We had that part with them singing in Elvish. You lost your bagpipes with Dane.
I know. I wanted the.
Well, that was in the movie, not the soundtrack.
Yeah, because in the soundtrack, like when it was coming out, we on Amazon they like let you sample some of it, and they sampled Ironfoot because it's like a separate track that's just the theme. Like where Howard Shore's like, we're gonna record this as the theme, and we're gonna put it on the soundtrack, and it starts off with bagpipes, and it's not in the movie. There's only one bit of it where it's in the movie. It's kind of earlier in the movie, but when the elves are fighting with the dwarves, it starts playing in the orchestral version. But there's no bagpipes, and honestly, I knew, because I don't like how it happened in the movie. Is exactly how I pictured it happening. Ironfoot coming over this hill, and I was just like, "Here come the bagpipes." No bagpipes.
And then no bagpipes.
No bagpipes. I was upset, but of course, we're gonna talk about moments of greatest theme, the Sons of Durin theme.
Oh yes.
Which is written mostly in it kind of is in the Hobbit. They played a little at the beginning of the Hobbit, kind of a version of it. The very first music you hear, but then you hear the very the dwarven version of it in the Desolation of Smaug, and then the best moment of it, of course, when they charge out of the door.
When they charge out of the mountain.
And I knew because I'd read the book. I knew that was going to be the best. Like I thought it would be the Missing Mountains theme until I saw Desolation of Smaug, and I realized the theme was missing, very absent. I was like, okay, whatever theme they choose. When I finally picked up on, because sometimes it takes me a little bit sometimes to pick up on the themes,
Yeah. Understandable.
And that was one of them. Like, I didn't pick up on it the first time because I was looking for the other theme. But then when I found out about it, I was like, okay, this is a theme. And then it plays when they charge out of this, and there's drums, and there's like a dwarven choir. Again, the choir adds a lot. There's chanting, and everything about it was amazing.
That scene is one of the best in Battle of the Five Armies, if not the best.
It is the best.
It is the best. It is the pinnacle moment of the battle.
We talk a lot about Howard Shore, Lord of the Rings, and The Hobbit because, like, I appreciate him because, I mean, John Williams is an amazing composer. But I feel he when I was in middle school, I played in the orchestra, I played the violin, and we had to do a Veterans Day concert with the choir and the band. It's a combined thing that we were doing. And this is why I hate trumpets, because we had microphones set up in the orchestra, we had microphones set up in the choir, but we couldn't hear either of us because the band and the brass section was over. Shut up, you. Paul's grinning at me like a moron.
Paul played the trumpet in high school.
Just playing as loud as I couldn't hear myself playing. I don't like trumpets. French horns, beautiful instrument. If I could play a French horn.
Gianna plays the French horn, doesn't she?
She does. She also plays the trumpet, so it cancels out.
I think Alan played the French horn too, didn't he?
Yeah, for sure did.
Yeah.
But I think French horn is a beautiful instrument. I'm not a fan of the trumpet. I've never heard a good trumpet player.
Sorry, Paul.
I've never heard him play a trumpet, so. But anyway.
That's okay. He's a singer.
I feel like most of the themes John Williams writes are played by trumpets or at least a brass band.
He likes his brass.
However, what he does with the Harry Potter theme with violins, the like that part's amazing. But I like Howard Shore because he uses a diversity of instruments more so than John Williams. And again, it is kind of this musical genius of Howard Shore as to how much he took in developing the themes for the different characters, and for the Rohan theme. Everyone thinks it's a violin that plays, but it's something else. I don't know the name of it, but it's like a Celtic instrument or something like that, because it's an instrument that's from the culture the Rohirrim is based off of.
Well, and he doesn't do just instruments or anything orchestral. He has singers and choirs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember hearing any John Williams music with singers.
Yeah, I actually can't think of one. That's a good point.
Yeah, and choirs or singers.
I think it works better.
Sound amazing.
I think it just works better for Lord of the Rings than Star Wars. Like, it just fits more. The kind of that choir, because music is literally a huge. It is the fabric of life in Middle Earth. So the idea of angelic choirs singing this music adds more to it, because it's this is literally part of them. Like, when the Rohirrim die, this is the music they play for the rest of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
When even in universe, they acknowledge the fact that this music exists in their lore. When Thorin dies, and they show the shot of Dale, and the men are honoring him, I don't know why, because,
he kind of tried to screw him over.
He tried to screw him over, and he did sacrifice himself heroically in the end. But you would think there'd be some people in that crowd who would be like, why are we doing this?
We've established that Lake Town is insanely changeable.
Yes, they are. I'm so
changeable.
Very changeable. But anyway, Percy is playing this, he's blowing through this giant horn, and he's playing the Erebor theme, which is different from Thorin's theme. Very simple. I love the Erebor theme because it is so simple. It's a very simple theme, but it's a very powerful theme, in my opinion.
Quite.
And so that kind of acknowledges that this music is known to the people. It's the music of the Ainur. Or Ainur. Ainur?
Ainur.
I don't know how to pronounce Elvish. It's like, it kind of gives this cool thing that this is the music of the Ainur. Like, this is what the dwarves, like, this is what formed the dwarves. This is what formed the elves. Like, it's beautiful. That's why I think the choirs work better for Lord of the Rings than for Star Wars.
Well, then
wait.
Huh?
We are about to get crucified for this.
Oh, boy.
You can't remember a single time when a choir was used for music in Star Wars?
Duel of the Fates?
Duel of the Fates.
Holy crap,
and Battle of the Heroes.
Eh.
And Memphis Nest theme. And Memphis Nest theme.
Oh, we even watched Solo recently, and I said that I'm like, oh, the choirs
We are about to get crucified by the internet, you know that, right?
Is crucified really the term we should be using?
Probably not, but
yes. I'm ducking away before the lightning strikes.
Yes, but anyway, so yes,
okay,
not entirely true what we said.
My bad.
So yes, I guess the best music in all of Star Wars has freaking choirs to it, but
yeah.
Love it when Phantom of the Menace, or when
Phantom of the Menace.
When Duel of the Fates plays in Solo, by the way, that moment is just, you just want to crank the volume all the way up. Like, if you could, you'd turn down Maul. Well, actually, you wouldn't turn down Maul, because we like hearing Maul speak. We would just turn the volume up, and just listen to the music in the background. But, yeah, it's just, there are so many themes in Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Like, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it makes sense in some instances. Like, The Ring has its own theme. It's very haunting, very mysterious theme. It plays at the beginning of every Lord of the Rings movie. Sauron / the Ring Wraiths have a theme. The orcs have a theme, which is kind of a subset of the Sauron theme.
Every race and location, kingdom, what have you, they all have a theme.
Some characters
you hear it, you know where you are.
Like, some characters within that race have their own, like Aragorn, lesser known fact, Aragorn has a theme. Doesn't play very much. Mm-hmm. Plays when they first see him in Bree, plays when he faces down the Uruk-hai, plays when he's riding with Brago to Helm's Deep.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't play very often. But, like, let's see, who else? Like, I'm just trying to think of all these different... Gandalf got a theme in The Hobbit, which I didn't quite enjoy. I like his theme in The Hobbit. Bilbo has a theme.
Of course.
Thorin has a theme.
Yep.
Dana has a theme. We talked about that. The Arkenstone has a theme. The Mithril shirt has a theme.
Yes, actually,
very slight theme. Plays only twice in the entire franchise.
We have like the Shire, Rohan,
the spiders
Gondor, the spiders.
Spiders kind of have a theme.
Mirkwood kind of has a theme. Lothlorien kind of has a theme.
One thing I liked that probably because I don't have the extended edition of the soundtracks, because those do exist.
They do exist.
Yeah, they have like extended versions of like literally the song for the White Council in the extended edition is 9 minutes long.
What?
Literally.
Why did I never know of this?
But yeah.
Oh, I am so disappointed in myself.
But the extended edition of what was I talking about? Desolation of Smaug?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's in the soundtrack, but in the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug, when they're in the forest, the moment where Thorin, because he's a bad leader, leads them off the path, Shelob's theme, like the music that plays when Frodo's in Shelob's lair, plays in the background. It's very nice to hear, because you know what's coming, and it's like, ooh, spiders.
I will say, okay, I guess I don't know if this technically is what they call the extended edition soundtrack, or if it's a whole other like extra soundtrack, but they have the music that they play at Bilbo's party, Flaming Red Hair.
Oh, right, it's called Flaming Red Hair, yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
but they don't have that on the original soundtrack.
Yeah.
I found it on YouTube somewhere, and it said it was on a whole different soundtrack, which I didn't even know existed.
Eowyn has a theme. I'm just going through the characters and locations and everything in my mind.
Girl.
You know, Erebor has a theme.
Yes.
Smaug has a great theme. Smaug's is haunting and cold and distant and mysterious, and when it plays in tandem with Thorin, is like the moment when Thorin's about to throw him off the ramparts, like they play it. Oh, it sounds so screechy and terrible, and it's just like, ugh.
They played Smaug's theme in that theme?
Yeah. And they're like that's his theme they're playing.
Well, granted, I can't tell because there's a lot of yelling in that scene.
You've listened to the soundtracks just as much as I have. You would have picked.
I haven't listened to that one.
They play Smaug's theme in tandem with Thorin a lot in Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh, that makes sense, I suppose.
Which again, I will say this to Richard Armitage: he's a completely like. It's not just he's playing Thorin like crazy Thorin in Battle of the Five Armies. He's playing a different character for half the movie.
Completely different.
Like it doesn't feel like Thorin at all, and that's a tribute to his acting ability because it's not just Thorin going nuts. It's a different character, and when he finally gets over it, it's Thorin again.
It's like,
and that's
boom,
like,
here he is.
And you can sense that shift, and it's really cool.
We on Saturday watched all 3 of the Hobbit movies. We had a Hobbit marathon.
So
all
we're
3 of us.
probably going to be talking about that more because it's fresh on our minds. Tariel's a theme.
Tariel.
Legolas doesn't really get a theme. He gets a subset of his father's theme.
Yeah.
Like the Mirkwood Elves, and he's kind of pushed in that group.
Yeah,
He's part of the
we pretty
Fellowship.
much had talked about all this the other day, and again, the whole thing with Richard Armitage, when we got to that scene when he pretty much, breaks out of his stupor, basically, and comes back, and he's, himself, and Austin was like, holy crap, I gotta give this to Richard Armitage. He's fantastic. I feel like, we have Thorin back, whereas before, that was totally not even Thorin.
Yeah.
It's a totally different character, and it's perfect.
And that's probably exactly how he was supposed to play it.
Because that's to say, he's supposed to be pretty much a completely different person, and then...
Gundabad gets a theme in the 3rd movie.
Oh yeah, even Gundabad has a theme.
There's a lot of themes. You could argue it's excessive, but I think it's used rather effectively, the use of themes. Just to remind you what you're looking at sometimes, or, kind of this hinting in the background of what's going on. It's always fun to pick up on that. Like, my favorite... Like, I wish it was more in the movie, but when Sauron reveals himself in Desolation of Smaug in a glorious fashion, by the way. In the movie they cut it short, but in the soundtrack they have his full theme play, and it's just like this moment of, oh yeah, like when he steps out. If you didn't read the book, you already know who it is just by looking at him, because it literally is the reverse eye of Sauron, where it's. Instead of the flaming eye with the black pupil, it's the flaming pupil with the black. Like, you can see the shape of the eye, and you see his armor, and you're like, it's him, and then the music's playing, too, and you're like, I know exactly who this is.
Honestly, we could go on about both Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and Star Wars. Oh, yeah, and Radagast as well. We can go on about those all day.
Let's just go into Star Wars. We talked a lot about Lord of the Rings. Let's go to the Star Wars.
I was going to transition back to Star Wars.
Okay. I mean, we could talk about Lord of the Rings for hours because we're in love with Howard Shore.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's how much. For my junior year in high school, when I was in orchestra, I stopped liking orchestra. I did not like the teacher. I hear no one likes him anymore.
I really don't know.
And it just wasn't fun anymore, and he let me down, okay? Because my sophomore year, he said for our final concert, we were doing Phantom of the Opera. We were going to do Star Wars. We were going to do Lord of the Rings. We were going to have all this amazing music that I was like, yeah! This is what I joined orchestra for. Literally what I joined orchestra. And then guess what he pulled? Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Pulled them. And we did play Phantom of the Opera. It was arranged by one of our cellists. It was arranged by one of our cellists. And it was amazing. And it was so much fun to play.
Fantastic.
We played Pirates of the Caribbean, which we will talk about.
Yes, we'll get to that.
We riffed Pirates of the Caribbean last night.
Oh, yeah?
I love that music, man.
Yeah.
We riffed, and it was funny with Pirates of the Caribbean because when we played it, we would sometimes be going too fast. We'd be speeding. And so he'd be trying to get us back in time with himself, kind of, exaggerating, waving his arms. But we were off together. So we were all going
at least you're together.
We were all going at the same speed, faster than he was, but it was the same speed.
Oh, you'd be surprised how often that happens with choir.
So it still sounded good. Like, it wasn't the cellos were going slower than the first violins, and so it sounded we were all together. And it sounded great, because we all knew the music, and we loved playing it. And so, so the next year, bumped the microphone, my bad. I'm waving my arms around here, because I love this.
He's nearly smacked me a few times.
So anyway, my junior year, I decided I'm not going to do this again next year, because I had no more fun. an orchestra should be fun, you know? Playing an instrument should be fun.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to go out my way. And I'm going to kind of give a middle finger to him. It's just like, it's kind of what it was. It wasn't really that.
Wow.
It was mostly because I wanted to play it. I asked if I could arrange a Lord of the Rings Hobbit piece. And he said, yeah. And I spent all of my spring break arranging this piece.
And it was fantastic.
And then some. It wasn't the best.
Yes, it was. Not the performance. I'm talking about just the arrangement itself.
It could use some improvements. I'm just saying, like, I'm not throwing away your compliment. I'm very, thank you very much. But just looking back on, I'm like, there were some parts I could have improved. Because I was learning. I'd never done this before. I knew nothing about music theory. I tried using a music theory. The first part didn't sound good at all. Eventually, I took to listening to the soundtracks as I was writing this and listening to the background. That's how much I know this music. I can ignore the melody and listen to the background. Like, it's like there are some piano players who do this on instinct, and I don't know how they do it. It took a ton of concentration for me. And eventually, I wrote this piece, and the performance was awful. Not happy with the performance, but I did it.
The thing is with the teacher, and this is from what Austin told me, and even I knew this because I knew the music, but Austin would tell him, this part needs to be played faster, this part needs to be played slower, and he'd do the opposite. And even pissed me off, because I'm like, I know that Austin has told you how to do this, and I know the music, I'm like, you're doing it wrong!
Like, when we got to the Misty Mountains, like, the accumulation, because it was a medley, right? So I would go from one, kind of jump around from one trilogy to another, like, kind of go, I didn't go through all the themes.
Just some of the bigger ones.
Like, I, of course, started with the Hobbit theme, and, we did I then transitioned to the Erebor theme and Thorin, and then we did a little bit of Gandalf, then went into Sauron and Smaug, tried to do those at the same time, didn't sound as good as I thought.
Then, like, Tariel's theme.
Went to the Rohan theme next.
I don't remember the exact order.
And then to Tariel's theme / Tariel's theme, I put too much on a second violins, because it didn't turn out as good, but, then to Aragorn's theme, the music that plays when he's riding to Helm's Deep, and then capped it off with kind of a combination Fellowship theme, Misty Mountains.
Which that was brilliant.
It should have sounded better though, because he had it going too slow.
Very.
He slowed it down at first to make Tauriel's theme a little easier, because that's not an easy thing to play very fast. But then it just ruined the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I was happy that I did it. Okay, it took a lot. I put my soul into that thing. Right? I put so much freaking time. Hours. Like, total time of days in terms of total time on that. And I was very happy with the fact I did it. Not at first. I was very pissed off.
You took a little bit of persuasion.
Like, everyone was saying they were sorry after the performance. Like, everyone in the orchestra was saying how sorry they were. Mostly because he wouldn't let us... We barely practiced it.
In class. And
that's the ones we needed to practice, we didn't. Well, the ones we needed to practice was mine. We were practicing all the other ones, which were fine. Like, these sound great. Like, we practice mine, please. But anyway, I did it. That's how much I love this music. On to Star Wars. Sorry, side tangent. Just to let you know how much I love this music. Star Wars. Okay, I'm going to say this. I love Rey's theme.
Yes.
Mostly because it's divergence from John Williams' other stuff. It's more based around... it's got, what is that, a piccolo or a flute that plays? I don't know what the instrument is.
Might be a piccolo, because it doesn't quite sound like a flute.
But it's very beautiful. Or it's not a recorder. I don't know. If you know what it is, please let us know. But it sounds very beautiful. There is some brass in the background, of course, but there's also violins. Like, I like Rey's theme, because it's kind of this nice... It's not in your face. Not usually. Not like, but nothing wrong with in your face. Imperial March theme, really, literally the Star Wars theme is in your face. Like, the first thing, like, it is just jumps at you and attacks you.
How many times has the Rift Tracks guys jumped at that? Ah, jeez!
It's because the first thing you see, Star Wars! Like, that's the first thing you see. But I love Rey's theme. Because it's kind of bouncy, and it's also heroic, like the way they used it in The Last Jedi and at the end of The Force Awakens. But at first, it's kind of bouncy, and kind of like, oh, this is... I immediately picked up on it, too. Like, once it started playing, I was like, this is her theme, isn't it? And I picked up on it immediately, because I knew John Williams. However, you could say John Williams is very repeatable. Some of his themes sound immensely similar. Like, the theme for The Resistance in the sequel trilogy sounds a lot like music from the prequel trilogy. I don't know if that's on purpose, or if it's just the way John Williams works.
That is true.
What about you with Star Wars? Like, what do you have to say about the music?
Frankly, I don't quite notice as many themes in Star Wars, unless that's just me. I don't pick up on it as easily. On Honestly, I just really like Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates is amazing.
Because, I mean, it is really cool, and like, we said, it's one of the very few choral pieces that they have. And I'm a big fan of choral pieces because I've been in choir since I was in 5th grade. Yeah. I've been singing as long as I can remember, and I've done choir since 5th grade. I still do choirs.
I know the words to that song, by the way.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, there are actual lyrics, not
it's
just...
like Sanskrit, but it's...
yeah.
They're actual
But I mean,
words.
it just... I don't know. I just remember I just thought it was really cool. And again, it's like what plays you when you first meet Darth Maul, and you're like, whoa.
Well, yeah.
When Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan first meet him.
Oh, and Obi-Wan first meet him.
Whatever.
Qui-Gon already met.
You know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, it's an amazing piece. It's epic piece of... Like, truly epic piece of music. Like,
Oh, yeah.
not just in the 21st century sense, but I actually think truly epic piece of music.
Yeah.
For an epic sword fight. Like, it was different than what we'd see in Star Wars, and there was an awesome piece of music to go along with it. Won an Oscar also.
Did it?
Yes,
Oh,
it did.
wow.
Many, like the Star Wars theme, the Imperial March, the Ewok theme.
The Ewoks?
Parade of the Ewoks won an Oscar. It's not even really played in the movie.
Is that the one they play at the end?
Yeah, that's what they play at the end of the movie. No, not that one.
Oh, dang it.
That would not win an Oscar. No
Aww.
one likes that song.
I like that song.
Duel of the Fates and Battle of the Heroes all won Oscars. I'm waiting for the final duel between Kylo Ren and Rey to have an amazing piece of music that hopefully wins him another Oscar.
That is if there is going to be a final duel.
There is going to have to be a final duel between Kylo Ren and Rey. You know there has to be.
I'm not saying a dang thing.
Unless it's Rey versus all of the Knights of Ren, which I would pay immense money to see. I probably will pay immense money to see. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera. What the heck?
You keep going to Phantom of the Opera.
Duel of the Fates. They're similar. Kinda. Not really.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Like, I kind of associate the two words. Duel of the Fates, great little piece of music there. I will say, kind of an honorary Star Wars mention, because it's not written by John Williams. The theme for the clones in the Clone Wars. It was one of those I never picked up on until Rebels, actually.
Oh.
Because it's one of those, they play it quite frequently. But in the Clone Wars, I realized they use a lot, they kind of reuse their music. So I think it was just one of those, I'm like, okay, they're just reusing this music from the movie. Mm-hmm. But then in Rebels, spoiler alert, because they have the clones, Rex, Wolf, and Gregor, who immediately made the show 5 times better, the inclusion of Rex. In the final episode, there's a bit where...
I think you mentioned this before.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but where Captain Gregor gets shot and dies, and it's extremely sad for me. And they play, briefly in the background, I hear the music. It's this theme from the Clone Wars. And it made me emotional. Like, whenever I hear it, I get emotional, because I'm very much attached to the characters of the clones. And how they were masterfully portrayed in the Clone Wars by D. Bradley Baker.
Oh, yeah.
And how much you grow to care for these characters who all have the same freaking voice, except for, like, Cut Up, who's Irish, somehow. He's like New Zealand.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
He's like New Zealand and Irish somehow at the same time. I don't know how, but that happened.
I love the clones.
By the way, quick thing. Did you know that Jason Momoa specifically requested that Tamara Morrison play his father in Aquaman?
Really?
Yeah, Tamara Morrison's like Jason Momoa's idol. Like his
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I read that on the internet. Like, he requested Tamara Morrison, Jango Fett, to play his father in Aquaman.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Also played the father in Moana.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was.
He didn't sing for the father in Moana, but he was the father in Moana.
Yo, can I just say really quick that the girl that played Moana, I can never remember how to pronounce her name, so I apologize.
Is a beautiful singer.
Beautiful singer. The fact that for one, she's 14. Her very first
she
role.
was 14.
Well, yeah. She was 14. Her very first role is a freaking Disney princess.
So far, her only role.
Yeah, so far her only role. And she freaking performed at the Oscars.
I only saw that movie once, but
what 14-year-old gets to do that?
I do love the soundtrack. I love the music.
That's a soundtrack I really like.
Surprisingly, I didn't know Dwayne Johnson could sing that well. Like,
what can I say except you're welcome?
Great little song there.
Oh,
a song to replace "Let It Go" amongst the contemporaries.
I thought "How Far I'll Go" would replace "Let It Go," but
I think everyone likes Dwayne Johnson just a wee bit better.
Just a little bit.
No offense to her, she's a beautiful singer.
I feel like they honestly just modeled Maui completely after Dwayne Johnson, because his behavior is total Dwayne Johnson.
Really?
What?
I didn't think anyone noticed that. He literally talks to his biceps, or at least the tattoo on his pecs. Like he talks to his
the pec part.
He talks to his tattoos on his biceps and on his pecs. Like
for 1,000 years, all I wanted is just to keep my hair silky, get back my hook, and be awesome again. I mean, that's a total Dwayne Johnson
and
line.
his whole like tweeting line and the dress with the animal sidekick princess thing. Like Dwayne Johnson wrote his own lines.
He made Disney self-aware.
I think he wrote his own lines. I'm certain of it.
Either he wrote them or he improv them and they kept them.
Also, I got a very strong genie vibe from that moving tattoo on his body. Like it just felt like genie. Like I can almost imagine Robin Williams voicing that thing.
Oh, Hamwana!
Could you imagine that?
I cannot do
that's
Robin Williams.
That's a duo right there. We will never see, but should see. Dwayne Johnson, Robin Williams. Those two together. That's what we need.
Also, while we're on the quick subject of Disney soundtracks, I went and saw the new Mary Poppins today with my sister-in-law. I saw somewhere there was a couple reviews that said the music was underwhelming and not very memorable. I say that's bullcrap.
It did get an Oscar nod.
Yeah,
an Oscar nod. An Oscar nod. Oscar nomination.
Yeah, no, it got nominated for an Oscar for at least I don't know if it was just one of the songs or its whole soundtrack. But honestly, I say the music being not very memorable, bullcrap. I was tapping my toes through a lot of it. I want to learn some of them for myself. I want to get the soundtrack. I thought it was great.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, Austin hasn't seen it yet. I will say this, Emily Blunt, pretty much Julie Andrews incarnate. She sounded exactly like her. I've only seen the original Mary Poppins, I think at least once. But I know at least enough, and I remember enough, to kind of remember, obviously, how Julie Andrews looked and sounded. Emily Blunt was, to quote Mary Poppins, practically perfect. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. That's my quick little movie review segment here. Anyway, though, we've gone on quite a bit about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, which, I mean, you probably should have seen that coming, to be perfectly honest.
It's literally on our logo, so yeah.
And we've warned you, you'll hear a lot about it. But there's some other either franchises or just specific themes that we want to cover with what remaining time we have left. Earlier we did mention Pirates of the Caribbean.
A very quality piece of music.
Well, that's another one you hear it and immediately you know, oh, that's Pirates of the Caribbean.
And it's fun. It's kind of action-packed, but it's just like... You almost kind of want to learn a jig, You want to learn some sea shanties when you hear that music.
I still wish it had that and the Skyrim theme combined on YouTube. But
yes, we want to talk about video game soundtracks.
Any version I find, it's not the same.
I know, it's not.
God.
The Skyrim, if you never played Skyrim's theme, Skyrim's main theme sounds quite similar to Pirates of the Caribbean. And at first I thought that was like ripping them off. But then when you put them together, it's this glorious magic of musical proportions.
I wish I could share it with you, but I found it on YouTube a while back, and they took it down. We happened to download it in time, and there's other versions of it, but it's just not. It's not the same.
Don't tell the government. It is beautiful. If you have it or if you've heard it, you have joined like another level of humanity.
I wonder if there's a way I can put it on the podcast.
I wouldn't dare. That's copyright stuff we don't want to deal with. It's beautiful. I wish you could hear it. But Skyrim is an amazing little soundtrack.
Well, not just the main theme that you always hear, like just it's
the
background
music. In general,
music.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've done it where you're at, but I know they've done it at least recently where we're at. But in Critical Role, Matt has his soundtracks playing in the background. Yeah. There have been times where you'll hear. Well, you'll hear like the more like the serene music, like when you're just out, in the forest or somewhere. And every time I hear it, I immediately pop up. It's Skyrim. Like every time. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And I want to talk about video game soundtracks for a minute. I really like the soundtracks for God of War, at least for the new one, and the Spider-Man, PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. Great little theme. It's a great Spider-Man theme. Whenever you're swinging, you hear it. Plays in the cutscenes. It's just this nice, feels Spider-Man, Nice soundtrack for a nice game. Really fun game. That's really much all I have to say on it, but I really like that soundtrack.
On God of War?
God of War is epic. Like there's no two ways about it. It's just epic and huge, and it's got big bass choirs in it. Also the theme for Faye, the deceased wife of Kratos in the game, is very beautiful. It's like a soloist, a female soloist, singing this very, very Nordic sounding song. It's very beautiful, very peaceful, especially in a game that is built on action, violence, and angry dads. Very serene, very nice little piece of music. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, we can't leave out Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
In terms of memorable theme musics, can't leave out Smash Brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Brawl and the new one. The new one's song is addictive.
Yeah, it is actually.
It's this very nice, pleasant little battle song that just catches me. It gets me every time.
No, Smash Bros is awesome. We also mentioned Harry Potter earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That one I feel doesn't have...
Less memorable as the movies go on.
Pretty much. I mean, the only one that you know of is, like, in the first couple of movies, and then, like,
well, the thing is, the first one was John Williams. John Williams wrote the main Harry Potter themes, and they stuck with him for the second one. The main Harry Potter theme, of course, sticks around, or it's called Hedwig's theme, sticks around for the next couple... Actually, I think John Williams did the third one, the first, second, and third one as well, but I'm not sure. And so, but it kind of after that, they stick to the main theme, but the rest of the themes just kind of go. Voldemort didn't really have one.
Yeah, that's just it. I feel like the villain has to have a theme, because then it makes them more memorable.
It's the opposite of the hero.
Well, again, like you talked about, Vader had a theme, and it played every time he was on screen.
Yeah.
Or even before he was on screen, you know who's about to come on screen.
And I will say that Harry Potters do have a decent soundtrack, but it's just, in terms of themes...
It's nothing
we pick
you
up on
remember.
We pick up on themes more, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not like Lord of the Rings where they do it enough to where you're like, okay, now I can, we're in Rohan, or this character's about to show up, or about to go here.
Or they've shown the Arkenstone.
Yeah, or they've shown the Arkenstone, or the Ring. But in Harry Potter...
Sting has a theme. Sorry. Sting has a theme.
Oh, yes, Sting has a theme, too.
Wait, no, does it? I don't think Sting has a theme.
I really don't know.
Sting does not have a theme.
But I just feel like in Harry Potter, again, they had only, like, one memorable theme, and everything else is just... I mean, the music is great, but it's nothing to where same thing, Harry's about to come on screen, or Voldemort's coming. Nothing stands out.
Doesn't stand out as much. I mean, you hear the Harry Potter theme, and you know what it is. That's also one little thing I will say about. I only saw the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and I was not a fan of the way they used the Harry Potter theme. Like, the first thing you hear is Harry Potter theme, which was fine with me, just to remind us where we are. It played for a minute, and then went away, and that was fine. But then later, it came back randomly when it had nothing to do with Harry Potter, or Hogwarts, or Dumbledore, or really anything.
I must have fallen asleep through that part, because I don't remember hearing that.
It was at a zoo. Just played it randomly at a zoo. There was nothing on screen. It was a zoo.
Yeah, I definitely fell asleep because I don't remember a zoo.
Central Park Zoo.
Yeah, see, that's how much I enjoyed it.
They mention Dumbledore in the movie. There's no more appropriate time to play the Harry Potter theme than when mentioning Dumbledore. Because that's, again, the whole emotional response thing. Like, they played it, and I'm like, okay, I don't see a Potter, I don't see a Dumbledore, or even a Weasley. Why are you playing this music? It made no sense to me. That's just my little harp on Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
You see, the fact that I fell asleep through it tells you how much I enjoyed it, because I do not fall asleep through movies.
We fell asleep through Battleship.
Yeah, I say, there are only 3 movies in existence that made me fall asleep. Fantastic Beasts.
Movie.
Oh shoot.
Battleship.
Yeah, Battleship. Which you think that would be one to make you fall asleep?
That's a dumb movie.
Because there's a bunch of explosions and loud movies.
This is a bad movie.
That was a bad movie. Side note: Rihanna should never be in movies. Just saying. And then, what was that third one? It was like that submarine movie with Sean Connery in it.
You didn't like Hunt for Red October?
Hunt for Red October. Yeah, I fell asleep through that movie.
I like Hunt for Red October. It's Sean Connery. And what's his bucket? What's his name? From Jurassic Park and Ragnarok. What's his name?
Jeff Goldblum?
No! Oh, yeah, I guess. Sam Neill.
Oh.
Sam Neill.
He was also in Ragnarok.
He was also in Ragnarok. Yeah, I guess. Sorry,
I was about to say, how the freak do you forget Jeff Goldblum?
Fake ode, not Grandmaster. Sam Neill, who was Dr. Alan Grant.
I'm sorry, but not even Sean Connery could save that movie for me. And I love Sean Connery.
I liked it. It was intense. I thought it was an intense movie.
Yeah, if I fall asleep through a movie, that means I don't like it and I'm completely bored.
That's kind of how it is with most people.
Well, yeah.
Unless your dad.
Unless your dad or Shelly. Shelly falls asleep through everything.
But Dad falls asleep through movies you've seen a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just it. I can watch movies that I've seen 1,000 times and still be just as into it. And I'm like, I don't dare fall asleep because I don't want to miss my favorite parts.
Yes. Also, going back to Marvel for a second, because there's more themes than just the Avengers theme. One kind of underrated theme that I wish we would have gotten more of. We watched Iron Man 3 last night. I really like the theme they made for Iron Man in Iron Man 3. It plays a decent amount in Iron Man 3. And it plays once in Age of Ultron when he's putting on the Hulkbuster suit.
Hulkbuster.
And I really like that theme. And it kind of just disappears. And I'm like, I like it. I like it, because it's more than just which it was in Iron Man 1, but it's like a more orchestral theme, but it's like, it's only in the third one and then once in Age of Ultron, and that's it. And of course, Captain America's theme.
Oh, yeah.
Can't go wrong with Captain
America
theme.
does have a theme, yes. I do forget that.
I love the Guardians of the Galaxy theme. There are very few themes.
The Guardians of the Galaxy theme is basically just any 80s song.
Well, no, but they have a theme music.
I know. But I'm just saying.
That I really like. It's fun.
But I'm just saying, when you think Guardians of the Galaxy, your first thought is awesome 80s music.
I hope Captain Marvel has an amazing theme music.
Oh, I hope so too.
I really hope so. But we talked about this one before as well. Dragonheart.
Oh, Dragonheart.
Beautiful piece of music. Like, really, the rest of the soundtrack is forgettable, but that bit of music is beautiful.
See, that's another one where, again, I hear it and I get drawn back to my childhood, basically. Like, when we watched Dragonheart a while back when I first showed it to Paul, I nearly started crying because I was just like, I felt nostalgic. I'm like, oh my gosh,
yeah, it's also our
childhood.
That also plays a factor in it.
Ah! I'll definitely include that one because I adore that theme. It's so beautiful.
Do you remember hearing that as part of trailers for Mulan?
Mulan?
I remember it distinctly, like in seeing on like our VHS tapes when they show trailers for Mulan. I distinctly remember hearing that music.
No,
I remember it. Maybe it's just me.
I don't remember that. Wow, okay, I'm gonna have to see if I can find that on YouTube.
Probably won't be able to find it. I don't know if it was trailers. Maybe it was, I don't know.
Trailer,
maybe I'm
preview, whatever.
We won't worry about that.
I do not remember that, like, at all. But yeah, that Dragonheart theme, just so beautiful. That's another one that you could probably play for me at any point, and I'll just either feel really happy or probably get really emotional. Who knows? It depends on my state of mind. Couple other quick little memorable themes just to bring up. Mission Impossible. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, seriously, that's another one. You know exactly where that comes from. They use it in so many different things. Parodies, skits,
And on the same lines, James Bond. Classic theme. We can call it a classic because it's old. Well, it is.
Just because something's old doesn't always mean it's a classic.
No, but the fact that it's endured and that you recognize it makes it a classic.
It's starting to die, though, with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I hope we get a good new Bond. I'm not a big fan of Daniel Craig. I don't think he fits the womanizer Bond type. Like
Idris Elba or Tom Hiddleston. Those are my picks.
Those two are most believable. I also love how Idris Elba is a total troll and just loves to taunt people. Because I don't know if he's
going to be Bond.
I know, he keeps making people think he's going to be Bond when he's totally lying to them. Like recently at the, not the Academy Awards, but the Golden Globes.
Oh, the Golden Globes.
He took a selfie with Daniel Craig and is like, "This is awkward." It's like, you are such a troll, man.
Dude.
Because I would love to see him as Bond. I think he's a great actor. I haven't seen him in a whole lot. Really just Thor. But I think he'd be a great Bond. I know he has a BBC show that people kind of like Bond.
You need to see Zootopia.
Is he in Zootopia?
Yeah.
Well, that's different.
He plays a bull.
It's a voice act. It's a little different.
But it's still really cool, though.
I bet it is. He also does play Shere Khan, which I've yet to see.
Yes, you need to see that one, too.
I think he'd do a really great Shere Khan.
He did a fantastic Shere Khan.
Even though Benedict Cumberbatch did do a good job. Very different than what I expected, but it's still pretty good.
Well, and then also, we mentioned this earlier on the show, but for Tom Hiddleston as my pick, part of what really got me going as to why he should be a really good Bond is this British miniseries that he was in earlier, I think either last year or a couple years ago. But yeah, The Night Manager, which he was in with Hugh Laurie. Holy crap, he pretty much was like another version of James Bond.
That was pretty much, I'm pretty darn certain that was his audition tape for James Bond.
Because, I mean, he was a total womanizer like Bond is. He's a secret agent. He cleans up real nice. I'll say that. It's Tom Hiddleston. Come on.
Even I could admit he's an attractive human being.
I hope so. I hope you can admit it. But men don't like to admit when other people are handsome.
Oh, and I suppose in terms of talking, if we also want to dip into a little bit of television show music, Matt Smith's Doctor Who had a great theme. Most of the other Doctors don't really get a theme. He got a theme, and it was great. I'm not talking about that.
I don't know how to.
That's different. That's the theme music for the show.
I know.
But his individual Doctor.
I started to slip into immigrant song.
Yeah, you kind of have Led Zeppelin meets Doctor Who. But yes, I love Matt Smith's music. You know, I think we're just about running out. Please let us know if we missed any amazing movies with amazing soundtracks in the comments.
Freak!
And we will hope that we don't disagree with you.
Really quick. I don't know why this is, but my phone doesn't get notifications for our Forcecast account, so it doesn't.
Are we getting comments we don't know about?
Yeah, I just looked.
We're sorry.
I know, if we've mostly it's just it's my friend Garen that's commenting a lot, and actually Mona commented on our last one, which I think we mentioned. But yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now. If ever you comment and we don't say anything for whatever reason, I don't get notifications when I get comments. I do for my normal email, for my normal account, but not for the Forcecast, which is weird. Really quick, I'm just gonna bring this up. First of all, on our last one, your friends, the Pink Bunny Girl 43,
yes.
They said, thanks for the shout out, greatly appreciated, best of luck with your channels and this channel. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you,
if you're listening.
girls.
If not, I will thank you in person.
I forget your actual names. Austin knows them, so I'm sorry.
It's Lily and Rachel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, our last one was the YouTubers and videos, in case you forgot. And then my friend Garen said,
this can be part of our Why is the Force Connecting Us bit, since we didn't transition over.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I caught it and it was just like, I gotta bring this up before we start to wrap up. My friend Garen, who on YouTube is B4D Connection, says, you absolutely know I can discuss YouTube vids and creators all day. Thank you for remembering ASDF. He was actually the one that introduced me to that, and in turn I showed it to Austin. He said,
Barry and Alan introduced us to that.
No, I got that from Garen. He said, I'm glad you got to hear something from Riff Tracks. Still freaking awesome.
Oh.
If you both want to watch Markiplier cry a lot or hear his sincere story, you need to watch his 6 million subscriber video, as well as him drawing his life.
I've seen the Draw His Life video. That one was quite different.
I've never seen that
I'm
one.
honestly, I'm going to say this. It's nice sometimes to watch those, but I almost can't do it.
Oh, really?
Because, nothing against them. It's almost like I'm just not prepared for the vulnerability.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love it when they open up like that, but I almost just can't do it. Because it's like, it's just Mark and Jack, they're not the sappy types. They're not the crying types. Which they are, of course, but usually they're the funny guys, right? They're the loud ones. They yell and scream and swear, and then they get all sincere, and then they, start crying, and it's just like, I almost don't want to watch it.
And you're like, what is this? What is this? Yeah, sorry for the odd, awkward little transition there. I got on YouTube
with our musical names.
Yeah, I'd gotten on YouTube really quick just to check something, then something down at the bottom said I had 4 notifications, and I was like, what? And figured I'd bring that up before we wrapped it up. But yeah, we, as Austin said, are big music people, love soundtracks, love musical themes. We pretty much look for a lot of those in a lot of movies we watch.
Looking at your movie shelf, we missed a very important one.
And that is...
Actually, we missed several. Sherlock.
Oh, yeah.
Sherlock's got a great soundtrack. Sherlock Holmes also has an amazing soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
GTA movies.
Yes.
Sorry, Morgan's got this. I'm just looking over her DVD shelf, just trying to what did I
know. I
miss?
looked through it too and going, okay, what ones can we?
Star Trek, good one.
Star Trek is
Dark
good.
Knight, the Dark Knight trilogy, good one. We're just
Musket-
kind of looking over at her shelf right now. Oh, yeah, it's got good music.
Musketeers
right
had a good opening. Had good opening music.
Did have good music. Legend of the Seeker.
Oh, Legend of the Seeker.
That's good music.
If anybody watches Legend of the Seeker, please let us know, because I swear I don't know anybody that watches that show, and it's so good.
That's why there's no season 3.
I know, and it sucks. I want season 3.
It's never gonna happen.
I know it's not. I still have hope. Okay, is that so wrong?
Yes. because it's not gonna happen.
Too bad Paul's not listening because that was a reference that he would understand. Anyway, sorry.
I think we're gonna start wrapping up here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Again, we apologize if you've left a comment and we haven't seen it. We will make a more concerted effort to make sure we are looking for comments. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, let us know what soundtracks you love, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us. Be civil, of course. Soundtracks that you love that maybe we didn't list. There's plenty of movies. There's literally thousands of movies out there that we haven't seen. Perhaps there's an amazing theme that you like from it. Like, I know the Braveheart soundtrack is particularly beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's also a song in Gladiator that Paul has shown me that's absolutely gorgeous.
And just some beautiful music out there.
I have to show that one to you, actually.
So please subscribe. Try to spread the word about us, please. We'd love to, expand our audience and keep doing these just to reach more people. We love talking to like-minded people. Like
us on YouTube, like us on Facebook. Email us, forcecast327@gmail.com, again with comments or questions or, like we've mentioned before, other topics that maybe you want to hear us talk about in the future.
Yes, and maybe this time we'll get lucky, and we got the riff tracks guy. Maybe this time we can get Howard Shore to hear about this.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
If I could get Howard Shore or John Williams to hear about this, it would literally kill me.
Hey, maybe if I tag him in the
video,
will they see it?
Tag John Williams, Howard Shore, the tags, and maybe
maybe they have a guy like Riff Tracks does that does a YouTube sweep.
Yeah, maybe they see us talking about it. They'll be like, man, I'll make sure that Howard Shore hears how much you love his music. Even though I will say the one blemish on his record, he did music for the Twilight movie. And by golly, the good thing is he's got at least 6 other amazing movies with amazing soundtracks on them.
Yeah, see, that is one I'm just gonna choose to ignore.
We're gonna ignore it because you've got 6 other movies to cancel it out, and they are amazing movies with amazing soundtracks.
Yes, they are. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, let us know if you like or agree with any of the stuff that we mentioned. If there's any other musical themes that you like and want to bring up, maybe even share a YouTube link if you can find on there, so maybe we can give a listen to it, whether or not if we've heard it. And, keep listening to us. Tune in for our next episode, Thursday/Friday. We actually are still deciding what our topic is going to be for that day, so stay tuned. Once we get that decided, we'll probably put something up on our Facebook letting you know what it's going to be about, and also hopefully what our lineup for the next few episodes are going to be. And so stay tuned for that. Thank you again for listening. This has been your local Forcecast. May the Force be with you.